Hello guys, welcome back to the Telecom Talk Show. Today we have Mr. Sandeep Lodha with us. He's the co-founder of Netweb Technologies, a company that has been in India since 1999. So Sandeep, you've had a lot of experience in the industry. And first of all, a warm welcome to you on our show. Sandeep, 5G is around the corner for us. Like we don't know the exact dates, but we know that it might come around 2022 second half. So is it something that NetWeb is also excited about? Because 5G is going to change a lot of things, right? The way businesses operate, the way consumers look at connectivity. But on a just business level for you, is 5G something a big opportunity? And what is actually NetWeb doing for deploying cloud to scale the density across the country?
Right. So Tanay, honestly speaking, thank you very much for having me. First of all, today, if I say that 5G, I think everybody is excited for various reasons. Even if you talk about the kids, they also need 5G because of they think that it is going to provide them more power. So everybody has got their own reason. Of course, at Netweb, we are very, very excited about 5G. And as personally, I being a technology person, I would say that 5G is going to pivot a lot of use cases, as you were trying to say, and it is going to pivot a lot of technology revolution, which the world has to see. So we are definitely very, very excited about 5G. Now, let us understand what are the biggest advantages of 5G. One is the density. Right now, a 4G can offer only 1 lakh connections per square kilometer. This can go 10 times with 5G, a million connections per square kilometer actually.
Right. Yeah.
And it has got 20 times better bandwidth, which is there. And overall, the latencies are going to be very, very low. And this means a lot of things can happen, over this. Now, to support this is what happens on the radio side, right? The radios are capable of doing all these kind of things. But this is not possible unless we do have a back-end thing to support this kind of stuff. So what is happening is the radio access network, which is to be sitting behind and servicing 4G, are also becoming VRAN, virtual radio access network. The distribution units are becoming VDUs, and there are a lot of VNFs, virtual network functions, which are coming up, and they are riding on 2-3 technologies basically. So if these are going to be virtual, so they need to run on some of the server technologies. The normal IT has come in here, the enterprise computing has come in here, so they have to run on them. Then there are going to be a lot of virtual machines which are going to actually run these applications. Then also there is going to be a huge requirement for microservices, what we normally call, in a normal term, we call containers. So we need to have a lot of containers running these. And this has to be all very dynamic, managed by Mano services, which basically does the orchestrations of these containers, which container is required when, and all those things. Now let me explain you how this happens. When a network is established, it needs to be supported for that kind of a bandwidth or for that application and things like that. And immediately a container or a VM is provisioned to it to support it. And as soon as this ceases, it also ceases, the backend, everything also ceases. So very dynamic kind of a requirement. And this can be done with technologies like private cloud, with Kubernetes, the container orchestrators. And then overall, there are other orchestrators which are going to, trigger this. So what is happening is, 5G is a big opportunity for cloud adoptions. And the cloud adoptions is not only going to be there for at one place or things like that. It has to be on the edge. When I say edge, it can be at the tower level itself, or there can be a regional level also, based on the response time which the application will like to see. Based on that, these kind of cloud needs to sit down. And of course, at the code level, definitely there has to be a cloud managing a whole lot of things. So if you see the entire backend technology with 5G is getting refreshed. And technologies like cloud, Kubernetes, and these kind of things are going to become very, very popular. And we do have at Netweb, we do have a big play in this area. We have been deploying telecom cloud for about in 9 countries today, and with a lot of customers. Yes. So definitely we see a very, very big solutions out there. Yeah.
So, Sandeep, India has set a target of achieving a goal of $300 billion manufacturing target, right? When it comes to electronic hardware. Uh, this can it be done by 2026? This part A. And part B is, what is Netweb doing to contribute to that goal?
Right. So if you see India's imports, so oil being the of course being the largest, about 90 billion dollars. Electronics is already touching $50 billion as in terms of import. And what it is slated that by 2025 we might have $400 billion. Imagine, that's an exponential jump. Even if we do $300 billion, if we are still going to be a shortfall, before we think about real exports and things like that. Now, 300 definitely is a very steep target. And it has to happen with a complete ecosystem. It's a game of entire ecosystem. An electronic ecosystem is going to be very, very important. But the best part is that the government is taking right steps. Today, if you see, government has come out with the PLI scheme, production-linked incentive scheme. And this is a very good, very nicely drafted scheme, actually, if you see. Today, for the world trade agreements and all those kind of things, we cannot incentivize earlier how we were doing, and the situation has changed. The government needs to find a very innovative thing. Second thing, government needs to ensure that whatever they are spending money on, actual effect comes in. Now, how do you ensure that? So PLI schemes aims to do some bit of that. And what they're trying to do is they're not funding your, for example, buildings and all those kind of things. They're saying, okay, you are doing technology transfer, yes. You're doing any additional production for Make in India, for that we are going to do this funding. They are going to do for machineries, once you get right machineries and things like that, for that they are going to fund. So they are trying to get those ecosystem, basically set up ecosystem. Now, as you know, any electronics doesn't work on isolation. It starts from maybe fab and semiconductor to goes to all the way towards top. But if you see PLI scheme is 80% around concentrated around electronics, auto, solar panel manufacturing. So basically, they are there to target these, oil imports and electronics is what the target is. And out of this, actually, if you see around 50% of the outlay of the electronics is on semiconductors. And semiconductors is going to be a big stay. There are many kinds of until unless we have large scale semiconductors in India, and it's a long play. Any semiconductor company doesn't invest for a very short duration time. It takes time to set it up and make it running and things like that. Starts from the packaging units, then you need to have fabs, and then digital fabs, and then various meter technologies and things like that, which are going to be there. So all this takes time, and government has invested on it. We are on the path, definitely. We are going to be doing a lot of production. There is no doubt about it, but it will take time. And how Netweb is contributing, if you say, so we are a server manufacturer. We have been doing our own motherboards in India. We are increasing the number of motherboards. We are getting those technology transfers already. Now what we are doing is we are developing new motherboards in-house to bring in those kind of things, where we can, because after motherboard is the products and solutions which comes over that, all the product solutions which comes over that and build over, those are the building blocks, basic building blocks actually. So we are definitely contributing there. And once we do have the ecosystem from the semiconductor supporting us, it will further reduce our pricing, it will reduce more products and solutions, more innovation. So the ecosystem will take time, but there are a lot of effect is already happening in the manufacturing industry, and Netweb is definitely on one of the top of that.
Right. So, Sandeep, Netweb is known for manufacturing servers, right? It's the only Indian company doing so, if I'm not wrong, right now. And
I think currently, yes, we are the only one.
yeah. So, Sandeep, how do you think? I mean, explain it to us in simple words. How can a domestic company benefit from a local server, and how can it also help an international player?
Right. So what is happening is, today, if you see domestically, until unless we do have the local servers, we cannot develop the entire ecosystem, right? The ecosystem will never get developed. We'll keep on buying from outside, and it will be keep on doing that. So definitely, a long-term goal will be coming. But once we are started and we are designing our own motherboard here, we can go India-centric approach for many of these, where we can see other cost reduction. Suppose tomorrow a big data center is being planned, by any hyperscaler, or the new hyperscalers coming up, or Indian-grown hyperscalers comes in. They need those kind of services to have Indian manufacturer which can work on that motherboard and things. So it helps both the ways. And of course, there are security concerns. Government has also got some of those concerns which are there. So once you are having a Make in India motherboard, it definitely helps. But as I said that, currently when we are doing India manufacturing, we have got a huge amount of requirement in India right now. And we are not in a position anytime soon to start any of the exports of these, because we are still working on the domestic requirement. And I'm sure after some time we can definitely do the production to bring it more for world production. I mean exports also.
Okay, Sandeep, do you think, I mean, not just you, but overall Netweb, how does Netweb look at the Indian market? Do you think it's the right place to be in business? In terms of policy, is the government helping the sector enough? What are your thoughts on this?
As a businessman, I can keep on complaining. The
Yeah.
crybaby gets a thing. But let us see, from the government point of view, the PLI scheme is definitely one big initiative, and very, very on the right track, actually, to bring in the required ingredients for that kind of a success. So government has to look for its own success. And definitely it cannot be a win-lose kind of a thing. We always think that the government should lose and we should win. Cannot happen that way. It has to be a win-win situation. So I think the current policies and things are always a win-win situation. It can be better. I am sure it can be better. Anything can be better. And governments are definitely working on it. They keep on improving it. They are hearing industry bodies. They come with changes. They are quite ears to things. And of course, they do have the concerns and constraints largely. And they also look into that, and then based on that, they keep on tweaking the policy. The thing is that everything is very fluid and also correctable, and they are correcting it. So that is very heartening. If things work like this, probably we can achieve a lot, in some time. Yeah.
So, Sandeep, I've talked to a lot of industry people, and you have been in business for so many years. You have employed so many people. In 2022, do you think there's a shortage of skilled labor? Because there's a lot of talk around that India doesn't have enough employment opportunities. There's a lot of unemployment. But do you also think that there's a gap in skilled labor? Is it enough for you what you're getting from the Indian market in terms of labor?
So you're right, actually. So you talk about any market, I guess people will have this kind of a problem getting the right skill. But India shouldn't have been this case, because we do have a huge amount of manpower available and things like that. But definitely we do have that lack of skilled manpower. and we need to continuously address that. And we do address it by three ways. Number one, of course, we try to find out the most right possible person for that. And of course, we are not one of the big names in the industry, but we are one of them, but locally grown, right? There are MNCs and other things which find a lot of better brand image for the employees. But definitely people are considering us a lot today, because the amount of learning which can happen at Netweb is not going to happen in any of that. They might be working on one particular segment, but here they have got a really wide view, and they can work and choose what they interest them and what they're good at. We keep on looking for the right talent. Number two, what we also keep on doing is we do take right candidates who are less experienced or do not have much knowledge, and keep on training them on job. So we put that pool gets enhanced that. And another thing which we want to do now, and I'm sure a lot of companies should do, is like in Western worlds, companies also fund some of the R&D with the education institutes. And this way you get the right brains with the able guidance of the professors who are driving these things, and some of the critical technology can be developed from there. And I think these are the ways which we can do that. Of course, we could have done much better on terms of having a pool of really trained, nicely trained people. But that's a challenge which we are also tackling.
So I would like to thank you for your time, Sandeep. I had a lot of great answers from you, got to learn a lot. So thank you for your time, and I hope we can do this in the future as well.
Sure, Tanay, anytime. Do let me know. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your viewers.